The narrative world or the storytelling world may be seen as an editing process in itself. Reeser and Zapp have outlined how we have entered an age of narrative chaos, where traditional frameworks have been cast aside and overthrown by emergent experimental and radical attempts to remaster the art of storytelling in developing technologies. But why might this be the case? Why have traditional frameworks been shunned and replaced by digitally friendly ones? I stumbled upon a TED Talk given by Julian Friedman, which may provide some answers. Julian is a publishing agent and turns away many authors frequently. Julian described the relationships of the writer's characters and the audience. The writer wants to be faithful to their characters at all costs. However, the writer needs to shun fidelity in favour of an adulterous relationship with the audience. This is not a deep personal relationship. You do not need to be interested in their personal hygiene and daily habits, he argues, but your primary relationship needs to be with your audience and not with your characters. Story is much more about the audience than the storyteller. But why is this so, and how does it relate to the digital age? The main purpose of storytelling is to organise information, convey emotions, and build community. And in this respect, aligns with writers' motivations and intentions in terms of the reasons as detailed by George Orwell and summarised by Julian Friedman in his TED Talk. There are four motivations. Sheer egotism, immortality, getting back at people trying to put you down, and trying to change the world. However, we are now exposed to a hypertextual environment, and therefore how publishers and producers previously defined themselves is being eroded by digital technologies. To quote Pierre Levy, the established differences between author and reader, performer and spectator, creator and interpreter become blurred and give way to a reading-writing continuum that extends from the designers of the technology and networks to the final recipient, each one contributing to the activity of the other. That is, the disappearance of the signature. And this applies in terms of the changing role of the editor. The editor does not have the same level of control as they have had previously. Writers manipulate text to draw an emotional connection between the audience and the character or characters, and in doing so, successfully, have a certain level of control, and the same could be said for the editor. However, Dovey has noted, the creator of the hypertextual environment has to relinquish the kind of control over the text by which producers have traditionally defined themselves. Blurred lines now exist between the reader and author, as each one contributes to the activity of the other. In this way, the nature of collaborative editing has changed, owing to the emergence of participatory culture, defined by Henry Jenkins as culture in which fans and other consumers are invited to actively participate in the creation and circulation of new content. Eakin Wand has noted the narrative skills which have been passed on to us and have stood the test of time, namely, the art of omission and the art of good timing. And as Julian Friedman notes, we can nudge the audience into becoming active as opposed to passive, so that they will actively watch movies instead of passively watching. And we do this by leaving gaps, or indeed editing. He was comparing American and European movie scenes, and he argued that American scenes are much shorter than European ones. And of course, this has probably contributed to the success that is associated with American movie making. He noted that American movies account for 80% of movies screened in Europe. When we look at the screen, we look at ourselves. Only we give you immortality, be it an audience or a publishing agent who is actively watching. During my research, I have come across a very interesting project called storymap.ie. The StoryMap project is based in Dublin, and basically it shows a map on the web page, and the map details landmarks, and there are little icons that you can press on each associated landmark, and once you click on them you can actually see a YouTube video of recordings carried out by the two filmmakers associated with this project. It's a great way to bring together all the different stories that are out there, and I just find it absolutely fascinating, and I would really like to incorporate something like this into my digital artifact. Basically, I would first of all like to see if this is a possible option for Cork and me, of course, given my digital skill set. I'm unsure as to whether I'd be capable of carrying out such a project at a micro level rather than a major project. Initially, I was adamant to explore social and cultural context using qualitative research, but I feel that this mightn't be as adventurous as an idea such as StoryMap. I may still do this, however, considering that many of those I would interview may be high-profile individuals, I may only be permitted by the Ethics Committee to record them by voice anonymously and not like digitally visualize and basically video the interview, which would require a lot more editing. So therefore I have a lot of decisions to make as well. I mean, in terms of what exactly I want to explore, given my skill set and given other things. But basically, editing is central to what I'm doing, as I have outlined in this video, and it's quite exciting, and I'm glad I've been made more aware of the role of editing, since it will be a central part of my dissertation next summer. So yeah, I think that's it. So I'll just wrap this up, and I hope you enjoy the accompanying animation.